The heading is motion of a charged particle in a uniform magnetic field. Under this, your question is deduce an expression for the frequency of revolution of the charged particle in the field. So the one which is highlighted and the diagram you need to copy down, boys. Sorry. Consider a particle moving. The force is always directed towards the center of the circular part and the diagram. Just draw the diagram. So the moment it enters, it will undergo a circular motion. Now you have to start with, if a particle has to move in a circular path, there should be a centripetal force. Now what provides the centripetal force is the magnetic force. Because the charged particle is entering a magnetic field, the magnetic field is going to apply a force. This is complete, boys. Consider the charged particle, Harish. Yes? Direction changes. Yes. Speed will increase only in case of electric field. Yes. Consider a charged particle. First, whatever I have highlighted, you can write, boys. Consider a particle moving in an external magnetic field with its velocity perpendicular to the field. Only then it will be a circular path. The force is always directed towards the center of the circular path and the diagram.
Ma'am, in the magnetic field, does the speed remain constant?
Yes.
Okay.
Only in the electric field, the speed keeps increasing. Have we completed? We go from.
Whenever a charged particle enters magnetic field, it will always be perpendicular to it.
No, not necessarily perpendicular, boys. If it enters perpendicular, then it undergoes a circular path. If it enters at some other angle, it undergoes an helical path.
No, what path?
Which one?
What do you say? What path it undergoes?
No, it undergoes a helical path. It spirals around. Helical. Helical. Okay, fine. Next one. Boys, just make a note of it. M is the mass of the charged particle. V is the speed. R is the radius. You need not write it in sentence. Just write M is the mass of the charged particle. R is the radius of the path. Yes. So B is the magnetic field. V is the velocity. Just put a hyphen and write. Statement will take a long time, boys. M, just mass of the charged particle. R, radius of the circular path. V, the velocity. And B, the magnetic field. But be very clear. Theta is the angle between. Theta is the angle between V vector and V vector. Theta is the angle between V vector is the direction of the velocity or the direction of the motion. Okay, now look at this. Centripetal force is provided by, because the particle is moving in a circular path, there should be a centripetal force. So now I can write centripetal force is equal to the magnetic force. Centripetal force is equal to the magnetic force. Now what is your centripetal force? The general formula mv squared by r. Your magnetic force is bqv sine theta to sine 90. So get me an expression for r. What will be the expression for r? Yeah, so it will be mv by bq. So the first part is the radius of the circular path. Radius of the circular path. Second one.
Ma'am, what happened to V square?
That V and V will get cancelled.
Yes, ma'am.
So time period. What is time period? The time taken for one complete revolution. Okay. This assignment is one. Time period. What is time period, boys? Time taken for one complete revolution. Time period. Time taken for one complete revolution, that you know. Should I write that? No. Okay. Fine. Now, what is the expression for your time period, boys? It is distance by speed. Okay. What is the distance traveled when it completes one full revolution? 2 pi r. Circular path. It will be 2 pi r divided by v. This is the time period, boys. Okay. Now you substitute for r and get me an expression for t. T becomes equal to, okay, 2 pi mb m 2 pi m by bq. Is this correct? This is the time period. So linear frequency So now we'll go for linear frequency. What is the linear frequency? Linear frequency nu is equal to, there might be a question. Is your time period does it depend on velocity and the radius? Does it depend on velocity and the radius? No. Where is velocity? Where is it? Independent of radius and velocity. No, I'm substituting for R. I'm substituting for R, boys. When I substitute for R, I'm getting this expression. Okay. Linear frequency. Okay. Linear frequency, nu is equal to 1 by T. So what is that? BQ by 2 pi M. What is the angular frequency? Angular frequency is omega. So omega is equal to 2 pi nu. So omega becomes equal to BQ by M. This might come as a 3-mark question. Now, based on this, we have to go for reasoning based questions. Right, boys? Yes. So this becomes a basis, one of the basis for your particle accelerator cyclotron. Angular frequency.
Ma'am, in the question, when they're saying frequency of revolution, they mean linear frequency?
No, not necessarily. Frequency of revolution, you can go for angular frequency, but when it comes for numericals, you have to be a little bit careful looking at the SI unit. Frequency of revolution, it means both linear and angular. Should
Okay,
I?
ma'am.
Johan, should I? Boys, have you completed? I'll start with the numerical part.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, boys. 1 second. You write the question. And a proton and an electron traveling along parallel paths enter a region of uniform magnetic field, a proton and an electron, right, is entering a region of uniform magnetic field, which means both are entering in a magnetic field. The strength of the magnetic field is the same for both. So B happens to be a constant. Okay. Which of them will move in a circular path with higher angular frequency? Now, what is the formula for angular frequency, boys? Just now, what is the formula for angular frequency? Omega is equal to BQ divided by
BQ by M.
M. Fine. B is a constant. Now, is your electron and a proton, do they have the same charge? Magnitude. I'm talking about the magnitude. They have the same charge. Proton and electron, Q is a constant. Why? Q is the charge. Why? Charge of an proton, sorry. Yes, charge of proton is equal to charge of electron. Okay, fine. Now, B and Q are constant. Is that omega is inversely proportional to M? Omega is inversely proportional to M, which means, which is heavier? Is proton heavier? Okay. So MP is greater than MP. Then what happens to the angular frequency, boys? Omega E will be greater than omega P. Is that fine? So omega E will be greater than omega P. So these type of questions, proton and electron, it can be a proton and a deuteron, it can be alpha particle and an electron. So all these things you should know. Shall I go for the next one? Completed? Alpha particle is ionized helium atom. It has two positive charge. You only remove the nucleus. Yes. Remove only a proton is an ionized hydrogen atom. Remove the electron from an hydrogen atom. The nucleus of your hydrogen atom is proton. Remove the electrons from your helium atom. The nucleus of your helium atom will become alpha particle. Right. So this law, this force, I will go for this. Fine, boys. Just start doing this. I'll remove whatever I have. Start writing. A narrow beam of protons and deuterons. Now these are isotopes. Proton and deuteron are isotopes. Now what is the condition for an isotope? Was both should have the same atomic number. What is changing? Mass is changing. Your deuteron becomes heavier than your proton. So your proton and deuteron both will have the same charge, positive charge. Only deuteron will be heavier because of atomic number the same, mass number is different. So what does it mean? It means the number of neutrons will be more in deuteron. But the charge of a proton and the charge of a deuteron will be same, positive. So I can write, see, these things have to be found. Charge of proton is equal to charge of deuteron. Okay. Now, what is the condition given? They have same momentum, which means P, which is equal to the momentum, is a constant. So this becomes a constant. Fine. Now look at the other one. They are entering a uniform magnetic field. Is that B a constant? Magnetic field is a constant because both are entering the same constant magnetic field, means the field will be constant everywhere. So B is a constant. Okay. Now first you have to write what is given. Next you have to check what is being asked for. What is that they are asking? The ratio of the circular path, the ratio of the radii of the circular path was the ratio of the radii of the circular path. What is the formula for the radius? What is the formula? Radius of the circular path? MV by BQ. Okay. Radius of the circular path R is equal to, okay, R is equal to MV by B into Q. So what is M into V? That is a momentum by B into Q. Okay, now look at this. Which are the one which are said to be constant here, boys? P is a constant. Okay, next B is also a constant. Then what about Q? Then what will be the ratio of this? So Q is also the same. This is also, sorry, Q also remains a constant. So therefore, I can write RP is to RD will be equal to 1:1. All are constant. Everything becomes a constant. But such questions often repeats. You have to be very, very careful about it. Only thing is that you should know what is a proton, what is a deuteron, what is an electron, what is in case of their mass and charges. Mass and charges of a proton, deuteron, alpha particle and electron. Mass and charge. These things you should. Fine. Shall I go for the next one? First, shall I move for the next one? Now do this numerical. An electron moving horizontally, right boys? An electron moving horizontally with a velocity of 4 into 10 to the power 4 meters per second enters a region of magnetic field of 10 to the power of minus 5 Tesla acting vertically downwards as shown in the figure. Draw its trajectory to find out the time it takes to come out of the region. First, you have to draw its trajectory. Boys, the first part of the you carry on, boys. I'll have to format this. Let me not format. Now your electron is entering. Your electron is entering a magnetic field here. Now draw its trajectory. See, you have to use your Fleming's left-hand rule. I don't know how I'll be able to explain for boys who are at home. Boys, what you need to do is that you stretch your forefinger of your left hand. Right? That indicates the direction of the magnetic field. Because I want to find in which direction is your electron. This is your electron. Right? Electron is entering a magnetic field. Is that clear, boys? Now, I have to find what is the direction, it experience of force, whether it is going to experience a force in the downward direction or your upward direction. I have to use your Fleming's left-hand rule. Only your forefinger will be indicating the direction of the magnetic field. So just keep your forefinger pointing into, boys, please understanding which is your left hand, which is your right hand. Your forefinger into the direction of your forefinger should be like this. Is that clear? To the plane of the page. Yes. What happened, camera? Okay.
Can you show us on camera?
Yeah. Stretch your forefinger. I don't know whether I'll be able to. Your forefinger into the direction of the magnetic field. This will be in direction of the magnetic field. Your center finger should be along the direction of the current. The center finger should be along the direction of the current, right? The direction of the current is the direction of the positively charged particle. Direction of the current is the direction of the positively charged particle. Suppose if your positively charged particle is moving along the direction of your center finger, field is inward, because why field is inward? You had your field is a cross field. Field is inward. Your center finger is along the direction of the positively charged particle. That is the direction of the current. Then the positively charged particle will experience a force along the direction of your thumb. Are you clear, boys? Thumb indicates what? The direction of your force. So if a positively charged particle enters into a magnetic field, say a proton, field is inward, cross field. Your center finger is along the direction of your current. Current is the direction of the motion of your charged particle, positively charged particle. Then thumb will indicate the direction of your force. So positively charged particle will move in the upward direction. Then what happens to the negatively charged particle? Downwards. Is that clear, boys? Just check, boys. Now look at this. Can you identify, once again, you look at the diagram and do this. Boys, look at this. This is your positively charged particle, right? This is the direction of the current, this entering like this. Charge, field is like this. Positively charged particle, that's the direction of the current. So naturally, if you move upward, electron will be downward. Right. Now find the. Now look at this. How long will it take to come out of the region of the magnetic field? Is the particle undergoing a circular path or a semicircular path? Now, why is it semicircular? Yes, your magnetic field is not complete. What happened in the previous cases, boys? Once again, what was the condition in the previous case? In the previous case, okay, look at this. Fine, boys. In the previous case, it was like this. It is completely moving in a full magnetic field. The magnetic field was, it entered like this, then it undergone a. So here, what is happening is, it is entering into a partial magnetic field. The charge is entering into a partial magnetic field. The second half is, okay, now what does this magnetic field do? What does this field do? It will make it to move in a circular path. Fine. Now, after this, there is no magnetic field. When there is no magnetic field, there will be no force. But till it reaches this point, till the particle reaches this point, say let me mark this point as A. Till the particle reaches point A, it is acted upon by the magnetic field. Now it is going to move out of the magnetic field. There will be no force. There will be no force due to the magnetic field. Magnetic field is applying a force. Now, how the particle was moving? The particle was moving like this. This was the direction of the motion of the particle, a straight line path. It experiences a force because the direction B vector and B vector are perpendicular to each other, 90 degrees. So it underwent, experienced a force, moved in a circular path. Now, right, when it reaches the point A, now it has to move out of the magnetic field. Out of the magnetic field, there is no force. If there is no force, what will happen? The body tries to move along the same direction. What is the direction? So now it is a semicircular path. It is not a circular path. So you have the time taken for one complete revolution. In the previous case, what was that? T is equal to, what is capital T? Just check. Looking into your previous page is so difficult for you all. T is equal to 2 pi m by dq. Okay, now that was a complete circular path. Now here it is semicircular path. Okay, now calculate, boys. Now here it is semicircular path. So semicircular path. So what is T then? T becomes T by 2. So it is pi m by b into q. The charge of an electron is 1.6 10 to the power of q is 1.6 10 to the power of minus 19 coulombs, boys. Correct? Okay. What is mass of the electron? 9.1, 10 to the power of minus 31 kilogram. Now calculate. So pi is 3.14, mass is 9.1, 10 to the power of minus 31. Then the magnetic field is 10 to the power of minus 5 Tesla. The charge is
Ma'am,
yes.
for the direction of the trajectory of the electron, does it go in and then come out? Should the second arrow be outward?
Second one, because electron, right? It will be outward.
Ma'am,
Sorry,
for-
boys. Yeah, correct.
Okay,
It should be
ma'am.
outward. Huh? Half the time. Yeah, it will be checked. No, if the diagram is given, yeah, you should understand cells. What is the value, boys? What is that you are getting? What's the value of T? 1 point, okay. Minus 8. Okay. Shall I erase this, whatever I have written? Shall I erase? Shall I erase what I have written, boys? Is that what you people, 1.8 10 to the power of minus 8? Correct. Microseconds. Tomorrow I'll start with Biot-Savart law, because I have to go for cyclotron. I'll do the application cyclotron and galvanometer at the last. I think so. I have to start with Biot-Savart law. Then we'll finish Ampere circuit law, and then we'll go for. Was 12C has asked me to take extra classes for numericals because your paper was tough for them. So in case during your extra classes, some told me to record and put it. The problem is if I start recording without students, then I'll be monotonously writing things. So in case during your summer break classes, if you are free, you join the class, I'll record. The others can do. I'll start doing numerical sideways because derivations you have lots of derivations, boys. And you can leave. What do you have now?
Thank you.
Thank you.